You know, unless you've been on the ground in Puerto Rico, it's very difficult to understand the gravity and the severity of the impact of Maria, which was really about a year and a half ago. Being raised Jewish in New Mexico, my father being from Santurce, Puerto Rico, one could have never predicted that these worlds would come together like this. But instead, they have come together in a way of service. And I think Aipac, with this trip, have really taken that down to its very, very essence.
As Latino leaders and Jewish leaders, we came here with Aipac to Puerto Rico to learn about the work that Israel is doing on the ground in a real, genuine relationship with the Puerto Rican people.
I think there's no greater bond than the human bond. And I think that's the genius of Aipac, that they value individuals. I'm not Jewish, and yet I can be blessed by those values. The people of Puerto Rico can be blessed by those values. My parents are both Puerto Rican. I have aunties and cousins here, and I have many beautiful memories in this place. Israel was one of the first countries that came to our aid, and we are grateful.
Fortunately, after Hurricanes Irma and Maria, my family was affected for many months. They had no electricity, no running water, something as simple as a phone call. It was very difficult. The agriculture, infrastructure, health, so many aspects of the life of Puerto Ricans were just turned upside down, and Puerto Rico hasn't fully recovered.
Israel came here not long after Maria. We didn't even know what Israel aid was, who they were, where they came from, or nothing. I mean, it says Israel, so it was related to Israel. They showed up to help us out to see what were the needs of the community, and the first thing they brought us was filters. One of the guys, Oren, even took water that was running from the street, poured it through the filters, took it out, and he drank it. So I said, if you do it, we'll drink it too.
Israel is a non-governmental, non-political organization. Our goal is to save lives around the world after disasters. We work wherever we're needed and where the local community is really interested in the tools and the skills that we can provide.
The second Maria struck, we assessed where the needs were. First thing was distribution of medical supplies, food security, and really collaborating with the most vulnerable people in Puerto Rico.
I think what we're seeing here in Puerto Rico is something that's foundational in the Israeli spirit. Not only are they leading on a bunch of innovations around water, around cybersecurity, they also spread that out into the world.
And whether that is Magen David Adom, whether that is Mashav-trained leaders, whether that is Israel, at that moment of need, in that specific time, Israel shows up.
This is a great example of how different communities can come together to solve the greater good and really just show that alliance building and collaborative solution building is important.
This is what Israel really is. They truly encompass Tikkun Olam. I mean, it's all for the better good of the world. Israel comes to the need of others without anything asked in return.
This Aipac trip has definitely made my passion for the advocacy for the state of Israel even stronger because it brings more heart into the advocacy, which I think is a core part of our effectiveness.
As Latino leaders and Jewish leaders, to come to Puerto Rico strengthens our ability to go back re-energized and talk about the U.S.-Israel relationship to anybody and everybody who will listen, and particularly with our members of Congress.
This trip was about never forgetting the importance of the human touch. And when you take a deep breath and you look around, you realize it's the Israeli community that's driving this conversation. And that's the importance of the work that Aipac's doing on a daily basis.